as well. So I started a website called Redefine Black Love because I want to help the black and brown girls, of which we are all a part, start to love themselves a little bit more. Okay, and I think that we owe it to ourselves to live a happier, healthier lives. So this panel, I'm gonna let all the ladies introduce themselves, are women that I admire.
Hello. My name is Tiffany, better known as the Budgetista, and I teach fun financial literacy. I have a best-selling book. It's called The One We Budget. Although it's 3 years old, but for the last year and a half, it's been top 10. And actually, this morning it's #1 on Amazon under.
Wow.
Yeah. I self-publish, so it's possible to do things yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Williams, and most of you might remember me, some of you are very young, so I don't know, from Ambush Makeover. I was the host of the show, and where we stop people on the street.
I remember your face. I was a big fan of that show, by the way. Hello.
Really?
Yes.
You wouldn't have got kicked because you good, you fine.
Oh, no.
This one busted me. So I'm clear though.
Thank you. So I've worked with several really great celebrities, but my main thing that I absolutely adore is working with the everyday woman. I mean, we have such a good time when we're working together. They ask me the craziest questions, like how to put on lipstick, but it all comes together. Like, it's a good time working with the everyday woman. I'm also on Instagram, where I do a lot of makeup looks and give you makeup tips on what to wear and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Hi guys, so I'm Kamara A Unique, born with the name A Unique. I'm also a makeup artist too. Yes. Yes.
Right. Good, right?
I also teach classes, and I work with a few celebrities also at the moment, and I work Fashion Week. I work just basically when I do makeup.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Renee Blewett, and I have a two-part career. First and foremost, and I say that because this is what pays my bills, I've been doing public relations for over 10 years now, and I specialize in beauty, working with hair care brands, a couple of cosmetic brands, and just beauty in general.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Shannon Andino. I am a fitness professional. I am a cycle instructor, certified kickboxing instructor. And I am also a run coach. I'm training for a half marathon. My biggest claim to fame is I'm a mother. I have 2 children. I have a 10-month-old and I have a 3-year-old. So yes, I live, breathe, sleep fitness.
But basically what the hearts are for, the name of the event is called Define You, live the life that you love. And basically, when we were discussing, Khadijah and I were discussing the event, we talked about a long time ago, my mother telling me not to worry about what other people call me. It's not important what they call me, it's important what I answer to. So we as black women, I don't know, I'm sure that anybody else might feel the way that I feel, but I feel under attack from the outside images and from the way we're portrayed in the media and the pictures of Michelle Obama with the side eye, and all of these things. So the reason that I gave you a card is because it's Black History Month and it's Valentine's Day week. So I wanted you guys to be able to take the hearts and write out adjectives about yourself that you find positive in ways that you define you. So I'm going to ask the panel, and I guess I'll start with myself. What are like 5 ways or 5 words that you would use to define you? I'll end.
I would say silly. I would say tenacious. I would say hopeful. I would say dreamer. And I would say goddess. I always tell myself that.
That's great. My first thing is always optimism. I'm always optimistic. I wake up happy. People could be stressed out, crazy, and I'm always happy. So optimistic is always #1. Number 2 probably would be think outside of the box. I'm a risk taker, maybe, that's one good word. I just always like to take risk. I think it's important. And that's a really big thing in this kind of business that we do, you know, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Probably corny, because I'm corny and I've embraced my corniness. I'm a little bit of a cornball sometimes, so, and I've acknowledged it. So probably, what am I on, 4th? 4th, I would probably say, this is hard. I would probably say, I like to challenge myself. I don't know what the word is, but I like to be challenged because it makes me work harder and just smart. Just, you know, just being I'm smart. You know, I'm a smart girl, and I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, you're fine, you're corny, you're smart, you're beautiful, all of those things. You have to reinforce those things to yourself.
Okay, just to make it short and sweet, I really know that I am a phenomenal woman, yeah. And
Number 1.
And that's everything. That's just smart, happy, classy. I can do anything I put my mind to. My mom, from an early age, I mean, my mother calls me on the phone and she tells me, you know, you look better than Beyonce right now. So I just have one word, and that's phenomenal, because I'm everything in one, and I really believe in myself.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I'm shy. I'm courageous. I'm funny. I'm a clown. Mm-hmm. I'm a clown. Yeah. I like to take risks also. Like if it's something that's like if I'm bored, one thing my friends always say to me when I call my friends and my mom and my aunt, my grandmother, my aunt, my whole family, and said, "Yo guys, I'm really going to quit Mac." They say, you know, you've never made a wrong decision. Mm-hmm. You've never made a decision that that we all looked like, damn. You know, it was always a good one. When I picked up and I moved to North Carolina for a guy, it wasn't a wrong decision. We ain't together no more. And when I left Estee Lauder working 40 hours a week, making $75,000 a year because I was like top in sales, and to work at Mac for 15 hours a week just because I wanted to be a better artist, it was a risk. So yeah, I'm a risk taker more than anything. I would take the risk just to do what makes me happy. Mm-hmm. And what else? I'm boring. Sometimes I'm boring. I'm an only child, so like everybody thinks like I met one of my followers on the train today, and she's like, "I love you," and I'm like, "Hey." And she's just like, "You're boring." She didn't say that, but you know, I'm boring. I'm just only child syndrome, kind of like in a shell. You know, but I am a people. It's weird, very weird.
Yeah.
Weird people person. Been in retail for like 10 years, and it's like,
Get tired.
yeah.
Like, I don't want to talk like that.
But then you know, like when I'm in my home, I don't go out. Everybody thinks I have this fabulous, glamorous life, and I'm really in my home like with curls up. Well, I got Project Heat, so I got that warm. I don't need PJs, and I got my dog right underneath me, and I'm just like, yeah. So that's like That's what I call like an amazing night. Yes.
Okay. I am a thinker. I'm a Virgo, so I think it's just in our nature to analyze situations, maybe overanalyze. But I'm also a doer. I know that once I set my mind on something and I say I'm going to do it, I will do it. And I will, do whatever it takes to get whatever that is done. I guess with that, I'm also a change maker. I had all 5 things as I waited for all of them. But now I'm not remembering them. Change maker. I'm vulnerable. That's one thing I'm really starting to embrace as I get a little more mature, that vulnerability is powerful and it's beautiful and it's not a weakness. So I'm definitely vulnerable. And I am an introverted extrovert. Whereas at home, I could be home for days and not really talk to people and be very okay with it. And that comes from being an only child for 9 years. So I think that's my 5. That's it.
I am athletic.
Clearly.
I'm athletic. I'm healthy. I'm humble. No ego. Becoming a wife and a mother, it really humbled me, and I taught myself how to bring it down. I'm a fun person, and I like to make change. One of the reasons why I got into fitness was because I wanted to help people. It's especially us, brown people, black people, help us to be healthy. Because when you're living in a society such as the one we live in, you see a fake reality of what healthy is, what fit is. And then as you start going for your certifications and you're submerged in the healthy way of living, you realize, wow, we're really an unhealthy culture. And it's not because, for some of us, it's not by choice. It's where we live, it's what we have access to, it's finances. So that's what I'm committed to. It's changing people's lives. That's what I'm looking for.
So I made up the questions, right? So you would think that I would have the answers. For me, I'm a mother first. I think that it has it defines who I am as a person. Just looking down at this little face, it's just not so little anymore. Or looking up at this face now and seeing him grow into a person, I think that it shaped my thoughts, my minds, and my decisions, and I'm completely a totally different person post being a mom than I was before him. Just knowing that there's a person that depends on you for everything, and if you make any of the wrong decisions, they're gonna suffer for it. So just having that pressure, it definitely shaped who I am. I'm a servant. And when you are a social worker, I think some of you guys are training to become social workers, you will see that it's not about you. So in the work, in putting this together here, my goal was to do something for other women. And it was part of doing something for other women that, like I think someone said, that actually gave something to me. I'm a lover, and by lover I mean in my loving relationships, or in my relationships, I try to make sure that love is first. One of my relationship deal breakers is if somebody doesn't operate from a space of loving me. And you know who these people are when you deal with them. You can tell when they try to feed into your insecurities or make you feel bad about stuff, or give you, it's funny, I have like shiny nail polish on, and I remember one guy I dated, and he was like, you always waving your glittered nails. And I was like, my nail polish? Like, you can find fault in my nail polish. You really don't like me. So I am a lover. And my name is Nikita, which means unconquerable. And I hated this ghetto, it's this, it's that. And some guy recently said, oh, your name is ghetto. And I was like, well, do you know what it means? So I'm a survivor. So that to me is very important, to know that I've gone through some things that I know that will have people with having their needle in their arm. And I'm better for it. And I'm still here, and I'm happy. I am genuinely happy. I'm happy doing the work that I do and the life that I lead. Even in my unhappiness, I find happiness. And so I think I was speaking to someone else about black women. I think that we as black women, we kind of take on so much that we feel like suffering is part of our makeup. And we don't have to deal with that anymore. We can choose to be happy. And we can choose to leave people behind that is not a part of that. The happier I became, unfortunately,
Oh yeah.
the harder it was for people to take me.
So true. Everybody's not gonna make the journey with you.
Yes.
And they're not supposed to, so,
Yes.
and it's okay to be all right with that.
Yes. So, all these ladies are working in their passions. And so that if they can do it, if I can do it, you guys can do it. What was the sacrifice like for you to work in your passion?
I mean, I had to give up everything. I remember the year I lost everything. I was 28, 29. My job closed down. The man I had been dating for 6 or 7 years, who I was supposed to get married to, we broke up. I lost my house. I lost everything. I was literally, I can remember my 30th birthday when I came back home that night, because my parents anybody have African parents? So you already know what it is. You 30 years old, you might as well still be 10. They're like, you can't move back, but the rules are the same. I had to be home at midnight. Midnight at 30 years old. So I lost my, like I said, because I lost my job, I lost my man, lost my house. So I had to move back home. And I remember I spent my 30-year-old birthday in my middle school bed. Like, my sister had my high school room. So I had to go back to my middle school bed. I remember laying there thinking, I'm pretty sure this is rock bottom. You know, like, I just made curfew at 30, laying in my middle school. It's not even like a single bed, it's like a single leg. Because, you know, middle school, you're not that big. Legs hanging off the side. And I was like, yeah, this is rock bottom. And so, but it was good though. Because I remember, it's funny, because be careful what you pray for.
Yes.
Whether you pray to God, the universe, whatever it is, that desire in your heart is a prayer. Be careful what you pray for, because I had prayed, I wish, you know, God, if you could just bring me back to what life was like when I was 21 so I could start over and make different choices. I wanna go back to my original state. And within a few months, that's exactly where I was. I said, see, not literally. And so at 21, I was in that room. I didn't have my boyfriend. I didn't have that job. And so I thought, well, I have a chance to, what did you want to do? The worst question someone can ask you, and I hate when people ask kids this, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's the worst question. Ask any one of these women on the panel. You're going to be so many different things.
Yeah.
So that what do you want to be is so limiting. It's how do you want to live? That's the question. How do you want to live? You want to go on vacation? You want 6 months off? You want to travel the world? You should, if you're still in school now, make sure you have this awesome opportunity to choose regular boring life or the awesome side of life. The awesome side of life looks a little broken in the beginning because you're still working on yourself, you're still mastering your skill, you know? But if you choose the awesome side, which takes a little bit more time, which means that you choose to do things not based upon how much money you're gonna get, which means you wait on the car, you wait on the fancy apartment, you stay home a little longer, then that life looks like this in the end. Not even in the end, because none of us are old up here. Yeah, exactly. Now the regular side of life, it might look like a little bit more money up front, but it's soul crushing. It's hating what you do. This is the day, I'm sure this is the day of office for some of us. Right? This is the day, right? I mean, I don't know what you do, but I know, right? It's the office day. This is us at work, quote unquote. I rolled out of my pajamas to come here. You know, so if you get a chance, really, like, you know, if most of you look about that 21, 20-ish age, choose that passionate, awesome side of life. It's going to take a little longer, but I had the opportunity to redo that again at 30 and at 34. I lived my ultimate dream life. Only thing I'm missing is $1 million more in my bank account, you know, but other than that, this is my ultimate dream life. This is the dream that, you know, when you're 16, 17, you're like, oh, this is how I want my life to be. Most adults don't live that life, but that's what we're living. So,
because there's something about, you know, okay, you might not have a lot of money in the bank, but you are ultimately happy. I mean, I don't think you are miserable in this state right now.
No, not at all.
So, like for me, I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 in a couple of years. So, and I'm still chasing that check, unfortunately. But the silver lining for me is that I'm happy. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm happy. I just recently met a woman that actually helped to make one of my, I don't want to say dreams come true, but one of my business transactions go to a further level. And by the way, her name is Lena, and she's from Lena Cohen, and she works for Inside Edition. So part of my job is I also have to connect with people every day. So I sit home and I'm on the phone and I'm on the computer and I'm just trying to figure out how can I connect with this person in a genuine way. And that was one of my 5 I meant to say, that I'm genuine, because I don't like to be fake at all. besides makeup. Outside of that, you know, I might get a little butt lift maybe, but it won't be an implant. It'll just be a lift. You know what I'm saying? So it's not technically fake. Squats. Right. We're just gonna fix it. We ain't gonna put nothing in it. So no, but I say this to say that meeting her made sort of a difference in my life, in the sense of these are people that I want to surround myself with. So it's exciting to have that life. And I think the biggest challenge though is, it's really about, do you want to make money and go out and get a career and become a doctor? That's great, and go for that if that's what you want to do. But if you know that you're going to be limited to that medical, that desk, that office, or whatever that space is, because I don't even know that world. I didn't go to college. I probably would want to go to college. I've thought about going back just for myself, but I don't know that world, and I don't think I would flourish in that world. So you have to immediately, when you come out of whatever situation you're in, you need to know what direction you want to go in, and that's what they should teach in school. You know, with young kids, you know, what direction, what's the angle that you want to live your life? Because it probably would have helped if I would have known that, and then I could have really, you know, started off running, hitting the pavement hard with this, you know, instead of trying to figure it out at 40. But whatever.
And you know what I always say? If you don't go for your dreams, you don't chase what you want to do, you're going to be working for someone who chased their dreams.
Right.
You know, you don't want to be that person. Just go for it. The worst that can happen is that you don't get it, but at least you went for it. So that's my biggest thing, just go. But I mean, I used to be really depressed, guys. I was depressed to the point where I was like, I'm not leaving the house today. And I'm not doing my eyebrows if I do leave the house. I was down, and I came out of a bad relationship. I had just left my job. I used to be a paralegal for 3 years. I had left my job. I knew I wanted to do makeup. I knew I could do makeup. I knew I did hair. I knew all that stuff, but I just didn't know how to really tap into it. But I was working with everybody. So then I branched out of there. I started working at MAG, and right now I have a 15-hour position there. And by me saying that is that when you first start out as being an entrepreneur, you should, for me at least, it works to have a little part-time job, because that supports what I'm doing right now. Now it's 15 hours because I can't walk up in somebody's job every day, and I because I'm usually late. So I can't, I just can't do it. But so go for your dreams, because you don't want to work for somebody else who's going for their dreams, and you're never gonna own their company. I know I want to own my own business. I want to say this is mine. I want when I leave here to be able to, what I'm leaving behind is gonna make sure that my kids are okay. You know what I mean? And by working for somebody else, that's not gonna happen. Not saying that that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Because I'm gonna need people to work for me. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing. But definitely go for your dream. Just go for it. That's it. There's no other way. Just go for it.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
I mean, I could say one thing that, that I've heard is that, I went to college. I graduated college with going to school, and I have a degree in dental lab technology. Obviously, I'm not doing that. And so that goes to say, like, I've always been an artist. My mom always take me to like botanical gardens in Brooklyn or Prospect Park, and I would just like lay in the park with my mom, and we'll go to the museum together. We'll do like art stuff. I'll do crafts with my mom. I'll make blankets and all types of things. And then I started hand making jewelry, and then I met this amazing woman, Letitia Daring, who used to own Pieces of Brooklyn. And Letitia took me under her wing, and so started selling my jewelry there. And then that's how I met most of the people I know, is how I met them from being in that circle with Letitia Daring, and then that's how I met Renee. And it's all about building relationships and trying to keep them, and building friendships, and where am I going with this? What's the question again? Sacrifice. Oh God. Okay, sacrifice. So yes, I sacrificed a whole lot, because when I left my positions of comfort of having that, that 40-hour position at Lord & Taylor, Estee Lauder, brought the company to $2 million for the first time ever in history, had dinner with the Lauders. Had dinner with the Lauders, received an award. You get what I'm saying? And say, you know what? I gotta go, guys. And I was like, what? And I only did 1 year. And they was like, you need to do another year with us. And I was like, I gotta go. And I went over to MAC and I called Portia Cooper. I don't know if you guys know Portia Cooper. She's celebrity makeup artist, did Beyonce, did everybody. And I said to Portia, I want to work here. She said, well, what do you need to work? Why do I need to hire you? I said, well, I know that this Henry Bendel is the first MAC location that Frank and Frank was able to open in a what's that kind of store called? Damn, like a Saks. What's that? Department store. And they're like, well, how do you know all that?
Right.
You know, and then when people ask me, well, how do you get into MAC? And I say, you have to go in there and you have to be confident. You have to let them know, I know what I'm doing, and no, I don't know how to blend, but you know what? You can teach me. Because when I'll show you a picture of how I looked when I first started, it was like, whoa! And I was like, why nobody didn't tell me? And he was like, girl, we told you. And I was like, you know what, you did. And I didn't want to listen, you know? And it was a sacrifice because I was living on my own and I was paying rent and I was just like, yo, I got no money. I'm making like, and MAC doesn't pay. MAC pays $20 an hour, and that's no money in the beauty industry.
In the industry.
And
not in the city.
And
Right.
I'm like, and in the city, and then Henry Bendel closes MAC. I closed down that store, heartbreaking. I'm like, oh my God. So then now I'm in Time fucking Square. Excuse my language. I'm in Time Square, coming from Henry Bendel, where I'm dealing with like amazingness.
Kind of
I am now dealing with Time Square.
They don't even speak English in Times Square.
Okay.
Tourists. It's mostly tourists.
Okay. I learned how to speak Brazilian though, I'll tell you that much. But it was, I didn't like change at that time. I was going through a lot. I had just recently lost my baby for dealing with domestic violence and dealing with a whole bunch of crap. And he stole my money, so I had no money to pay my rent. So I had to basically be in pain and still dealing with whatever I'm dealing with at that time and having to deal with customers. And a pregnant woman walks in and she's like, I need my makeup done, and I have to help her when I just lost my child. So I'm like, the sacrifice that I put, like the feeling that the therapy I went through, the person I am today that I was back then. I was angry back then. Now the person I am today is a happy, like, you'll never see me come out of my, like, you'll never see it. If you do see it, that means somebody took me to a point where it's
and it could have been a mental sacrifice. It was not just you know, a physical.
Yeah, it was like it was a. And then the happiness started again because MAC was opening their store on Fifth Avenue. I automatically had the door in that store. So then Fifth Avenue opened, and then I'm back.
Yes.
Fifth Avenue again. I'm like, yes. With the people I belong with. So I'm like, okay, good. And then I'm like, wait, why am I not getting booked for things because of the color of my skin? Why am I not being able to? Oh, you know, you're just a little too, you know. You're not able to deal with feedback well. Wait, why? Oh, because when you do, you kind of roll your eye. I do, but my eyes are so big. I'm just like, I'm not trying to like roll and be angry. Oh, you just seem a little angry sometimes. And I'm like, no, but I love my job. You know what, Mac? All right. Exactly. I'm gonna take what I got and what I learned and who I've networked with. And you might have that issue with Mac too. Which one are you at?
I'm in Harlem.
Oh no, you'll be good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You'll be good. It was the same. We were in the same group though, but it was a little different on Fifth Avenue. It's a little different. It's oh, Fashion Week is here. You know, we're gonna book this person though for the shows, and I did my certifications in 1 year because I said, you know what, this is the goal that I want. I want to be in and out this place. I want to be in and fuck out because I see that there was no growth for us in MAC. There was no growth for us, and it angered me and it bothered me. You have an amazing manager though. You have Troy and you have Adama. You know, so you have those people that's gonna like push you to like do amazing things with the company. I didn't, you know, and I just lost my whole like everything with them. And I said, you know what? Took that sacrifice again and left in April. And I mean, I haven't looked back. I go sometimes and I freelance, but I pick who I want to freelance with. Right. And that's like the different managers that I know that called me when I needed that help. They hit me up. They was like, yo, you know what, with that advice, I had I had Mimi, I don't know if you know Mimi, she's the manager in Brooklyn, and she was the person I called and I said, Mimi, yo, I want to leave, and she says, yo, I think you can do it, but I'm going to hire you if you need freelance hours. I said, okay, all right, I got that one. Lord mercy, hire me. Okay, I got that. Just in case I'm not making any hours, I got these people I could call, and I didn't have to call them. So it's just a sacrifice of like knowing what you want to do, knowing that. I'm not saying become a makeup artist. I'm just saying like if you feel like this is what you like, something there is like I can make really amazing cupcakes. Go freaking do it.
That's right.
Post it on Instagram or sell it to your friends for $2. Hand out some business cards. Give it out on the corner. Tell people like, listen, this is what I do, and be confident in what you do. Like let people know. Listen, this is what I know. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm an expert. I'm a beauty expert at what I do. I know what I'm doing. I know what I can tell you exactly what's gonna make you look. That lip is amazing, but you know what? If we add a little pop of lip gloss on top, you know, pop it. You know, like something. But you know, you'll listen. No, I'm just telling people that you work for MAC, they like, you know, they love that because MAC has been that pioneer, that company that started it, that helped it, that put that little nail in the coffin and said, okay, everybody else is followers from us. So.
And they encourage their teams, like, because I'm an old Mac girl. I'm old.
Well, you were lucky, Mac.
You were
in good Mac.
Yeah, I was in good Mac.
Good Mac.
I was before they got taken over by Estee, so it was really about the artistry. But I just want to add to your point is not burning bridges is really important.
Absolutely.
We're able to go back to all those managers and connect. And even me, like if I wanted to go back and get a job, like which I consider a 9 to 5, I could go back to Mac because they train you in a way where you learn not to burn bridges, you fortify great relationships, but you also, it's like a family. It's like a home.
It is.
So if you decide to do something that is off from, the standard ideal job, you should try to keep and maintain relationships with, maybe with people that work at the school or whatever other outlet you have, you know what I mean?
You know, it's a good point too. If you are going to be an entrepreneur and you do get a job, try and get something in the same field.
Right.
Of what you
Similar. Right.
So that's why for me, I absolutely love MAC. I do. The discount is amazing.
60%.
Hello.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing. I get to meet a lot of amazing people. While I'm there, a lot of people come in and I get to do business outside of work. I get free makeup training. So, if you're gonna get a job, which a job is not bad, but make sure that you get it in something that is going to push you towards whatever you're doing. And that you can benefit from it, because I have when I used to work at Sephora, that built my entire makeup kit. I literally didn't buy it. I have so much makeup right now. I love makeup. But I mean, it single-handedly built my makeup kit. MAC, I do so much makeup that it's an expense. I can't just go out and spend a lot of money on makeup, but working at MAC gives me the 60% off where I'm able to not spend as much money on the things that I need on a daily basis. Yeah. So the biggest thing that I sacrificed ever, and I'm still sacrificing it, in order to reach my dreams, I had to move back to the United States. And my mother, who's my best friend, she's in South America, Suriname. So that's the biggest thing I had to sacrifice. I had to sacrifice my family to come and live in the United States and chase my dreams, because there's not a lot of opportunities where I'm from. Yeah. So that's one of my biggest sacrifices. I don't think I touched on that. So yeah, but sacrifice, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta. Yeah. But the end result is what matters. Satisfying. The end result is what you sacrifice, when you get to where you want to get, that end result is gonna be so far back that you're not even gonna feel it anymore. So.
Yes. Did you call me Nene? My biggest sacrifice, which I think that we've all touched on, was just the financial sacrifice. When I decided to start my company, Crush Media, I was kind of on the fast track to becoming the VP of the multicultural team there, but I just did not enjoy doing PR for brands and campaigns that I just wasn't excited about. In an agency environment, you really don't have a choice really on what you work on. If a pharmaceutical brand comes in and they have a new prescription or medication for AIDS or glaucoma. That's what you're pitching to the media. Hated it so much. And it was kind of depressing because I was working on multicultural programs, so every, illness that we index high in our community, like, this is what I'm writing about every day. And I'm like, I'm too young for this. Like, this is not it. So once I discovered that marrying my passion for beauty with PR was like the ideal career, I took on a client on the side. I was working with Elastic QP, which is like a heritage hair care brand, and I worked with them to launch their men's line and PR for their women's line. Kind of did that at night and just really built that relationship. And I look up and I'm like, I don't really need to be in this job. Like, now this is just becoming like a cushion, and it's like a safety net, but I'm not loving it. So I kind of scaled back, and it was a great opportunity because my supervisor allowed me to work part-time in an agency setting, which is very rare. So I was still going into the office 3 days a week for about a year and a half. And I was like, okay, I've slowly pulled off of, mama's breast here. Like, let me just do it all the way. And so I did it, and I was able to, build up my clients. And, next thing I know, I was, a full-fledged entrepreneur. So I didn't dive into it. I kind of stuck my toe into it, which, to your point, just about having a part-time job and just having something where you're kind of building a cushion before you go out all the way is, to me, the best strategy. Unless you're doing something that like goes boom immediately and you have to leave, I think it's good to kind of make that transition so that you can determine if this is a lifestyle that you want, because it's not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for someone who thrives off of consistency. It's just not. So you really get a taste of it, if you're doing it part-time and kind of working your clients or working your dreams. One thing that I say all the time is when you choose the route of entrepreneurship, it's just important that whatever it is, it's what you absolutely love. So there's this hashtag that I always use on Instagram and Twitter, do what you love. And that's really like what drives me every day. With the PR work that I do, we're targeting women of color. We're encouraging women to embrace their beauty from the inside out. With my blog, I'm inspiring women by sharing women's stories, encouraging them to follow their dreams. So every single thing that I do every day is laced with love, and that's kind of what keeps me going, even when the client business is slow, even when my checking account doesn't look the way I want it to, even when it's, we're approaching our 6th snowstorm in New York and I'm ready to take a vacation. As long as you're doing what you love, that's that drive that kind of keeps you pushing through.
I think that's your next book, Laced with Love. Or no, your first book.
Yeah, I don't have a book.
Laced with Love. There it is.
You gotta give her credit.
Gotta work on it.
She wants credit.
Okay, you already know. Exactly.
You gotta keep going.
I'm budgeting to write.
And Shannon?
The word sacrifice means a lot to me. Several sacrifices. Being a mother is a very humbling experience. I was a totally different woman before I had a child. And then the element of being a married woman, that's a whole nother sacrifice, because my husband is also self-employed, and he travels a lot. So I am not only an entrepreneur, I am a house manager. I am a stay-at-home mom. I am the financial person in my house. I am the tax preparer. I'm the accountant, the chef. I am everything. The nurse, right. The psychologist. So when I think about sacrifice, even being here tonight, my children are with sitters. Okay, so I was kind of pushed into finance. I was pushed into fitness. I have a financial background. I worked for Bank of America and Wells Fargo, branch management, almost a decade. And after my second daughter, I was 200 pounds. And I was depressed. I had an emergency C-section. I was ready. I was like, I'm not gonna have no C-section. I'm having natural birth. I had my first daughter that way. And then we get into the operating room and the heart rate dropped. And I'm 9 centimeters dilated. The doctor comes in and she's like, we gotta take her.
Hey, you listen and stop what you're doing.